Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Item Asylum reaction. Today we have Second Trumpet, this like remix, I'm assuming it'll be, that appears in Item Asylum. I remember hearing somebody remix something in a different Roblox game and being kind of underwhelmed. So I hope that this one's better, honestly. Don't know though, and I won't know if I don't listen. So without further ado, let's go! I did re-listen to the original, just so I have like the melody and motif in my head. Ooh, okay. You know what? I'm not mad. It's definitely different. It's just more of like adapting to the new sound that this has. Plus, we barely started, you know? I could be in for a surprise for all I know. So far, it's been keeping it pretty steady. There's a siren. Like, it's got really nice qualities to it. The fact that it has me moving means it's not awful, you know? Just by default. But I mean, the original has such great sound design, it's gotta be really hard to match that. I think it's kind of interesting that this is like good in a different way than I expected it to be. But that's post-reaction talk. I'm assuming this is probably looped, given the length of the song, but also how much I've heard of it so far. But I'm hearing more in the... Oop, see, it just ends so suddenly when they're looped like that. It's either they fade out and I get a little bit of time, or it just stops and we're done. So, okay. I don't hate it at all, but I do have some things to say about it. I wouldn't say that they're negative, though, honestly. So firstly, I actually think it's a pretty decent song, but also calling it a remix of Second Trumpet, I would argue is bold. You know, it feels like its own thing. I don't think that this really feels like Second Trumpet, and that's okay. Honestly, like there's no reason it has to sound exactly like the original. There's just so little of what I hear in the original in this that honestly, if I didn't know that it was supposed to be Second Trumpet, I wouldn't have second guessed it. I would have just been like, oh, that's a new song. And it works for that. It feels good. Like everything that they're doing kind of has this kind of like 90s, like retro-esque N64 sort of sound to it. Like the music that you would hear in like an old shooter or something, like Perfect Dark or something with a little bit more action to it. A spare song on any sort of shooter in that era. And that's kind of sick, actually. Like it's definitely not as old as like the 80s, you know, like back in the 8-bit sort of sound font. But at the same time, it has that quality to it that just makes it kind of timeless in a way. And that's better, honestly, than it could have ever hoped to be. I think that this artist has made something that sounds more interesting in its own way, more original than they would have gotten if they had just outright remixed Second Trumpet without much other changes. That was something that I've had issues with before on these sorts of Lobotomy Corporation remakes and remixes, is that sometimes they just kind of get left on the plate and there's not a lot of meat left on the bone. It just feels like it's an empty, sort of soulless project. And this one feels like it has some more heart in a direction I didn't anticipate, which is it sounds more like its own thing than it sounds like the source material. So it kind of feels better to me for that. I feel like so many people try to pay homage to things like these Second Trumpet or just any of the Trumpet songs from Lobotomy Corporation, and they just never quite hit the same energy. And you have to adjust things to work within the game that you're making it for, right? That you're remixing for. You can't just be ripping the whole song and being like, well, it's exactly that. That's not the point, you know? So you have to make these creative decisions. And I think they made enough creative decisions to this that it really truly became its own song, which again, for me at least, makes it better because it doesn't sound like it's trying to be something that it's not. It sounds like it's paying homage in like a slight way, like it's just taking a nod at it rather than just ripping it and trying to do something else completely unrelated with it. That always feels weird to me. Like there was that one point in Hollywood, and they still do it sometimes, where they took like a song from a few decades ago or just a decade ago, and then they remade it into like a deep cinematic sort of swell. It's like, here's an impact, and it's just like, you know, and like sometimes that would be fine, but it's like remaking these songs to fit this more like intense atmosphere kind of rips away the soul of the original song, and it always feels like Hollywood slop at that point. And it's like, okay, now I'm just bored and I don't care about this. Once in a while, they did it well, but not a lot of the time. I would say like 2 out of 10 would be actually decent remakes of the songs or reimaginings of them. And for this song, it kind of does something accidentally similar to that in the good way, where it's like, it's its own thing, it's paying homage to it. You could still tell that there is that DNA in there, but it is its own thing, and it's created a sound of its own, and they're utilizing their own sound fonts and not just trying to rip samples from the original and making it sound too much like the original to fit or feel good. So really fucking solid is what I'm trying to say here. I know I've been yapping a little bit more and running in circles with that thought, but there's really not much more I can dive into with this one because I have heard the original, I love the original, and it's just like, well, okay, this is something different. And that's why it caught me off guard, because I didn't expect it to be something like this. And I was like, oh, that's different, not just a little different, not just entirely the same thing. It's completely different. It might as well be its own song. If they were to rename this, I wouldn't know better. But I do think that's about all I gotta say on it, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want me to get to something else from Item Asylum or any other Roblox game, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. Or if you want to guarantee something, much like whatever did for this one, you can always go to my Patreon or my YouTube memberships where you can force me to listen to something. Doesn't matter what it's from, who it's by, if it's good or bad, none of that matters. That's why it's a guarantee. But if you don't want to do any of that, maybe just want to follow me and support me for more stuff coming in the future, you know how to do all that, and I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye!